Good afternoon, everyone. It's Father Neil. It's Thursday, April 29th, with my weekly update on the parish. Pretty much everything's been rolling along behind the scenes as we've been doing. Outwardly, not a lot of changes. Certainly, there have been no changes to the COVID protocols, and so we're still at our 25% capacity of the church, still registering, still doing all those hand sanitizing, other protocols for safety reasons, and they'll continue for the foreseeable future, even though we see some mitigation in the severity of the crisis and the fact that people are getting vaccinated. But as of yet, we really are not doing any guidelines to update all of that. So hopefully, as people feel safer coming back, we can add more masses if there are, if there's demand for that. One thing that has come to my attention recently is that though we only have two masses on the weekend, Saturday night and Sunday morning, often there's mass intentions for both masses, but we read them at one mass or the other. So some weeks, all the intentions of the weekend will be read on Saturday, and all of them other weekends will be read on Sunday. And the reason for that, of course, is that by church law and for centuries, one mass on Sunday has to be offered for the people, so there'd be no private intention. So it's not for your mother or my mother or anybody else. That's why we don't take intentions on Mother's Day and Father's Day, by the way, because everybody wants their own mom to be prayed for, and we do, but not individually by name. So that's created some problems and people saying they're coming in to visit and so forth. So what I've decided to do is to offer a private mass on Sunday, depending on my schedule at some time, certainly again not open to the public, offered for the people of St. Robert Bellarmine, so that the mass intentions for the mass can be read Saturday night and the ones on Sunday morning, to try to eliminate some of the hard feelings or the hurt that they're not hearing their loved one's name being read. And while it's not theologically important, it is spiritually important to the people because it's the connection. So just like I visited my mother at the cemetery the other day, I know she's in heaven and all that, but the cemetery is a focal point for our emotional relationship, even though we know better. And the same thing is true for the Mass. When the Mass intention is offered for someone, it brings the family or people together to be intentional about it, to remember it, and to bring them together. And there's great spiritual value in that, even though Mass, of course, is entirely offered for everybody on that Christ is offering on behalf of all the people. But there's great spiritual merit for the families and for the people and for the rest of us to remember those people in our community who are no longer with us. So that's why I decided to do this thing to help facilitate that spiritual welfare of the people. So that'll be doing on Sundays as well, varying times of the day depending on my schedule. And again, that particular Mass for the people will be private. It will not be open to the public because I can't guarantee a time. Anyway, so that's on the spiritual side. We're doing a lot of other things spiritually in the parish as well, which is important. So First Communion, we'll have two First Communion Masses this Saturday. We had two weddings last week. And so certainly pray for all the young people who are going to receive the body of Christ for the first time this coming weekend. So that's important. Deacon Bill is doing an incredible number of things spiritually for the parish behind the scenes. The blanket ministry is going to come back live to provide blankets for the sick and the suffering and the baptized and the hospitalized and so forth. So that's coming back. He's been doing the virtual Bible study. He's going to try it live now to see how people come, but it's still being offered. Daily reflections he offers on both Facebook and on the parish app, so people can join in on that. Same thing with the novena. We usually have 8 or 10 people coming when it was live. He's got 50 or 60 coming every week. And so all those things that he's doing to keep up the spiritual welfare of the people virtually, which have been very helpful. He's also been training the altar services, and they're now back at Mass. So some of our more experienced servers are back for Sunday and for the daily Mass, and we'll be training some of the younger children to pair them up with the older ones to get things together. So all that's good, and so there's a lot going on in the spiritual life, even though it's probably not noticed by the vast majority. It is the vibrant part of our parish. We're continuing, of course, with all the administrative things. The budget meetings are coming up in early May. Hopefully they'll be approved by the Archdiocese so that we can move forward with some of those plans. Recently we finished having the brickwork in front of the church on the east and the north side in particular. A lot of water damage over the winter, so that brickwork has been redone and that's been repaired, and that's a relief because we don't want to have long-term damage to our beautiful church. So that's been done, and then we're also working on getting some more of the tuck pointing, the brickwork done in the school this summer. We have the contract signed for that. They'll begin as soon as school gets out, probably in mid-June, once the teachers leave, so they can get that done. And of course, we'll be doing repainting and all those other normal summer repairs that we do, and we're getting that schedule and that plan together as we speak. And so a lot of things are going on in that regard. As far as Renew My Church is concerned, it's not exactly on hold. Father Robert will be meeting with me and with the parish council in May sometime, a date yet to be determined, and the finance committee. He'll be joining us virtually for the next school board meeting, and he'll be joining us in a couple of weeks for the next staff meeting, which we hope to do in person as well. So we're moving along in that, and we're starting to talk about how some of those things may look as he transitions into our parish and back at St. Constance beginning in July. So that's going forward. We're having those conversations. And we're hoping for the best. I continue to ask everyone to continue to pray. It sounds kind of trite, but prayer is very powerful if it opens our hearts to the will of God. So pray for Father Robert and pray for our people and the people of St. Constance as we move forward. Again, please do keep the people of Our Lady of Victory in your prayers, because again, they are losing their church and they're a vibrant part of the community for over 100 years. I know I say that frequently, but I think that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle of the busyness and the functionality of uniting the parishes together. I'm hoping, but I won't be here to do that, obviously, that we'll continue the 5-parish mission, because that was St. Constance and St. Robert and St. Paschal's, Our Lady of Victory, and St. Bartholomew's as well. So the same 5 parishes that were in our grouping teams, even though we're splitting into 2 parishes instead of 5, are still part of the same mission that we've done every year that obviously we couldn't do this past year because of the COVID. So my hope is that will get back on track, and if the people of parishes are open to it, I think there's no reason why it shouldn't. Don't know what's going to happen with the parish picnic. That's one of the open items that I have with Father Robert and with Father Pavel, because ours is normally the last Sunday before school starts, and for both St. Constance and us, we've always done on the same day. This year it would be August 24th if it happens. But do we do separate picnics? Does Robert try to hit both of them? Do we try to do something together? That's really not clear, and certainly location, because it's really hard to get permits for the park, and we're also at a late date. So that's up in the air, and as soon as we find something out, we'll let you know. So hopefully we'll be doing something, even if it's only a small social in the parking lot, which is what we did last year. We had the ice cream social in the church parking lot in lieu of the picnic because of the shutdown, and we'll at least do something like that, so to try at least bring people together. So a lot of things happening, a lot of things unchanged, which is good. We're rolling along. As my old sponsor used to say, some days there's no runs, no hits, no errors, and quite often that's a good thing. So God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. I hope to see some of you at Mass this weekend. Certainly hope that you'll remember the children in your prayers for the first communicants, and certainly of our neighboring parishes, and of course all of our hospital and first responders, our police. Keep them in your prayers, and for peace in our community as well. God bless you all, and have a wonderful weekend.